After many moons and several Civ 6 DLCs that emptied wallets, Civilization VII arrives, determined to revolutionize the franchise with changes so big that even Gandhi would be worried. Instead of continuing with moderate tweaks like previous entries, Firaxis opted for major surgery, overhauling some fundamental mechanics. The result? A game that still feels like Civ, but also as if they rolled the dice on experimentation and got a questionable outcome. After countless hours of gameplay and several existential crises watching my glorious civilization get crushed in the modern era, we're not entirely sure these changes are improvements. Some add freshness, others feel like a slap to classic strategy, and some just seem like they were conceived during what-if brainstorming session at the dev office. Now, before diving into details, let's talk about the real issue, the price. Because, of course, what's a new installment of a famous franchise without a $70 to $130 price tag? It seems Firaxis took inspiration from sports games and decided to see how far they can stretch fans' budgets. If they're charging this much, the game has to feel like a revolution, so the million-dollar question is, does it? The first thing you'll notice is the Ages system, the most radical change so far. Time is now divided into 3 eras: the Ancient Age, the Age of Exploration, and the Modern Age, each with unique rules and objectives. But the real kicker? All civilizations advance together, as if history itself decided to move in sync. The problem? Traditionally, one of the best parts of Civ was developing your civilization at your own pace. In this version, no matter how far ahead you are in science or culture, when it's time to transition, everyone levels up. It doesn't matter if you were about to invent the wheel while your enemy was already making tanks. Everyone progresses together, as if it were a battle pass. Another big change is that leaders and civilizations are now chosen separately. This means you can create some wild combos like Abraham Lincoln leading the Aztec Empire, maybe in some parallel universe. It's an interesting idea, but also feels like the perfect setup for future DLCs selling alternative leaders. And yes, Firaxis, we know you're going to sell us a cyberpunk version of Julius Caesar for $5.99 at some point. On the bright side, the removal of barbarians and their replacement with independent powers is a decent change. Instead of hordes of barbarians randomly spawning to ruin your commercial district by turn 10, now you'll deal with factions that you can negotiate with or fight. At least it's no longer a barbarian camp spawning festival every 5 turns. Combat has seen improvements with the addition of the commander unit, which allows you to group troops into more organized formations. However, if you clump them together too much, the enemy might just turn them into a military piñata. The flanking system has also been enhanced, where attacking from the sides or rear grants damage bonuses, making battles feel more tactical and less like a game of chess with extra steps. In diplomacy, the focus has shifted to a new resource called influence, making relationships between civilizations less predictable. However, one of the most controversial changes is the removal of religious victory. Religion still exists but is now a much more simplified system, almost an accessory. In a way, this is a relief since, in Civ 6, religion sometimes felt like an awkward minigame that didn't fully fit. Another addition is the emergent narrative system, which sounds like a Crusader Kings feature but in a light version. Throughout the game, you'll face events that can affect your civilization, but in practice, most of these are minor choices that offer small bonuses. Don't expect epic betrayals or dramatic twists, just small decisions that give you a bonus here and there. The Aegis system seemed like a great idea on paper, but in practice it has some major flaws. Each era introduces significant changes to the map and gameplay, adding variety to the experience. However, the biggest issue is that you can't choose when to advance. All players move forward together, meaning any technological advantage you've gained is wiped out in an instant. Even more bizarrely, you can't stick with the same civilization throughout the entire game. Every time you transition to a new era, you must switch cultures. You might start as Egypt, then become the Vikings, and end the game as the Soviet Union. This mechanic might appeal to some, but it makes the experience feel less like building a lasting empire and more like playing a historical role-playing game on the fly. At the end of the day, despite all these complaints, it's still Civilization. Once you push past the frustrating UI and some of the bigger design changes, the game still has that classic one more turn addictiveness. We spent far too many hours playing, which speaks to the strength of the core formula. Visually, the game looks great, especially on the map. Cities are more detailed, reflecting their respective cultures. The leaders, while still a bit cartoony, have improved animations. Performance-wise, we had one crash during an era transition, but otherwise no major issues. However, the UI is rough. Menus feel unfinished, pop-ups are inconsistent, and some tutorials refuse to go away. Ultimately, if you're a hardcore Civ fan, you should wait and see how this game evolves. The changes could appeal to some players, but for us, it strays a bit too far from what we love about the series. At full price, it's a tough sell, so we'd recommend waiting for more updates, or at least checking out other reviews before diving in. And that's it for today. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game. Are you excited to try it? Are you a fan of the series? If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, and check out the next video on the screen. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our latest game reviews. As always, happy gaming, and thanks for watching. And remember, we are Gamespedia EX, your AI favorite video game source. I'll be back.